Alright, what's up, y'all? And welcome to Stories with the Fallen. Today, to me it's funny. It might not be funny to y'all, but looking back at it, to me this story is funny. So a long time ago, I was dating this girl. And when I met her, she was a virgin, everything, right? So I really liked her. Everything was pretty cool. But things started getting weird around, say, maybe 4 or 5 months in. And it wasn't her necessarily, but it was her parents. Her mother was cool, but I never really heard much from or about her father. And what I didn't know is I'm about to meet this motherfucker in the worst way possible. So boom. A friend of mine hooked us up because her and her boyfriend was supposed to be going on this date, and the only way that her friend could go to the movies is if she was with her, because her dad was like super uptight, super protective, super just over dramatic about everything. So she calls me and goes, "Hey, I got this friend. Me and my boyfriend's going to the movie, and she's just gonna kind of be a third wheel. Do you mind, entertaining her?" So immediately I'm thinking, oh gosh, I got to defuse a grenade. But my friend reassured me, like, no, she's not ugly or nothing. She just doesn't have a date, and it'd be kind of awkward because apparently her and her boyfriend was planning on, doing some things in the movie theater. So they didn't want her too focused on them. So fast forward, we go to the movies. I meet her. She's gorgeous. I'm like, beautiful. But you can tell by talking to her that she's very sheltered. Because she's quiet. She doesn't really make eye contact. It's like you could get the vibe of, even though she's cute, she doesn't realize that she's cute. So throughout the course of the movie, we talking, we getting to know each other. I'm opening her up a little bit. She's laughing, she's joking, she's having a good time. So after the movie, she decides that she wants to see me again. So I agree, because why not? I'm single, she's gorgeous. I'm not gonna pass that up. So boom. Fast forward, we meet up at my father's house. And we in the hallway, we're talking, and she's explaining to me how she's never done much, she's never really been out, she's never this, she's never that. Me, on the other hand, I have experience, because at the time I was already been in and out the state. I was just coming back permanently, and it was a whole bunch of stuff, but I had experience with life. So I decided I was going to open up her world. So I start taking her out. I start showing her things. And she starts falling in love. And everything is just going beautifully. Now, we end up going to her cousin's house. I think it was a cousin or her aunt. It was one of the two. But her cousin is talking to my cousin. And me and her together. So, me and her go to be by ourselves while my cousin and her cousin are talking and trying to get to know each other, whatever the case may be. And it was a perfect opportunity, because at this point she wanted to be with me intimately, but we just never had the opportunity to. And I explained to my cousin before we even got to the situation, like, okay, well, she's a virgin. She keeps saying that she wants me to, finally sleep with her. Like, can you kind of maneuver this for me? And he set it up, had everything ready. So all we had to do was just go in the room, shut the door, lock it, do our thing. So boom. That night happens. We do our thing. Now she's super in love. I'm in love. So everything is just going smoothly. So at this point, I'm teaching her stuff at this point. We going places, we doing stuff. And one day she just goes, oh, can you meet me in Elizabeth? Which was weird because she didn't live in Elizabeth. But what ended up happening is her dad caught on to the fact that she was dating, and he might have caught on to the fact that she wasn't a virgin anymore. I'm not 100% sure what he found out, but he found out something. So we get to Elizabeth, and she was at this friend's house. And when I pull up, the friend freaks out because the friend's like, yo, your dad said that this guy wasn't supposed to show up. You're not supposed to see him, blah, blah, blah. So now I'm on alert because I know what's going on. So boom. I'm like, what happened? She goes, my dad found out, blah, blah, blah. He followed you home so he knows where you stay, this, that, and the other. So boom. At this point, I'm like, it's all good. I'm not going to stop messing with you just because your dad want to be an asshole. So we keep dating. At the time, I had a 95 or 94 4-door Civic. And I would pick her up, drop her off, and we would just, have this whole little thing going on. It was clean. One day, we're at the crib, and I get a phone call. Hey, my dad's walking up to your door. What? Okay, so the doorbell rings, and when the doorbell rings, it's him. He sits in my grandmother's living room, and he's talking all this stuff. Oh, so you're the one talking to my daughter and this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. So at this point, I'm not thinking nothing of it. He's a dad. I'm going to respect him. All right, yeah, I'm talking to your daughter. Me and her in love, blah, blah, blah. This is what it is. And he goes, you're going to stop seeing her. And I'm like, I'm not. And then he proceeds to threaten me and my grandmother in my grandmother's house, might I add you. And goes, either you're going to stop talking to her or I'm going to kill both of you. Now, at this point in time, even though I'm in my grandmother's house, all of my pleasantries are gone. I look him in his face and go, you know what? Let's step outside then. Now, my grandmother's looking at me, and she has like this torn face. Like a part of her is like, yeah, kick his ass. The other part of her is like, no, you shouldn't do that. So at this point, he realizes that I'm not with the games. Like, I'm really about this life. So he goes and he calls the cops. Say that I threatened him, blah, blah, blah. So my grandmother goes, no. What happened was he came in here threatening both of us, and my grandson decided to, offer to whoop his ass. Which is exactly how that happened. So, at this point, I called a couple of my cousins, and they're at the car with her, making sure she's alright, because now they're telling me, oh yeah, he beat her, and she got bruises, and all this kind of stuff like that. So now I'm raring to go. I am ready to kill this man, because you just not only came in here, disrespected me, threatened my grandmother, and you beat the person that I'm in love with? Yeah, we gotta throw these hands. So boom. Cops show up. Cops escort him to his car. My cousin's gotta clear out the way because of course the cops are there. He leaves. Her mother calls me. And her mother goes, look, listen, I've been trying to get out this relationship forever because he is controlling and abusive. And you're the first person to ever stand up to him and is throwing him off. So I go, bet, is he home? She goes, yeah. So I pull up. And now I'm over at his crib. And I'm like, so what you want to do? Because you was talking all this mess. And then the mother goes and like kind of backs me up. Like, yeah, he looks after her better than you do. And he makes her happy. And I never seen her this, that, and the other. And then my girl at the time is now chiming in, and now all three of us is against him, and he realizes he's lost this battle. So he goes, oh, so this is what y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna gang up on me, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. They have a little discussion. She tells him while I'm there that she doesn't want to be with him anymore. She wants to get divorced, blah, blah, blah. So with me being there, there's nothing he can do about it because he knows I am ready to go at the drop of a penny. Not even a dime. A dime is too much change. At the drop of a penny, I am ready to wreck whatever it is that he feels like he is. So he just angrily goes, okay, whatever, leaves. So at this point, she's more relaxed. The mom's more relaxed. Everything is taken care of. I go back, I tell my grandmother what happened. Fast forward this story. We were together for a little while, but my grandfather used to drink like crazy. So he would do dumb stuff and then blame it on other people. So what ended up happening is this particular day he gets drunk and he loses like $6,000. And because he couldn't find it, he blamed me. So now it looks like I stole $6,000 because he said that he saw me take it. But in reality, if I fast forward the story again, when I came back from what I'm going to explain to you in the story later, we found the $6,000 in the bathroom underneath the carpet. And it was there the entire time because that's where he hid it, trying to hide it from whoever he was trying to hide it from. But now back to where we're supposed to be. So, boom, that's a whole thing. And to defuse the situation, my mom offers for me to come live with her in Virginia. Now, the problem with this is the love of my life is here in Jersey. So, she had this ingenious idea, by the way, did not run this plan by me, that she was going to say that she's pregnant. Now, note, I have no reason not to believe this because we're young, and to keep it a buck, we was doing it like 2-3 times a day every time we seen each other. So it's not like it was impossible for it to happen. So boom, she tells my mother and her mother and everybody that that's the case. So now my mother's like, okay, well, if you're gonna have a baby, she has to come with you because you can't just leave and abandon the baby, which I agreed with 100%. So we get to Virginia and we go to the doctor, and when we go to the doctor goes, oh, she's not pregnant. I don't know how she could have thought she was pregnant because, yeah, there was nothing indicating that she was pregnant at all. So, no missed period, no nothing. So he was just like, asked her if she took a test. Apparently she told the doctor she didn't take a test, whatever. So it was a whole thing, but she made it to Virginia with me. So me and her in Virginia, and at this point, I'm just pissed off that she lied. But not so pissed off that she lied about it to get to Virginia. I'm pissed off that she lied about it and didn't put me on game. So I'm sitting here really thinking, ooh, I'm about to be a pops. And that wasn't the case. So that caused a little bit of friction in our relationship, of course. And during that friction, there was a lot of things that happened that I didn't know about until later. But this is where it gets interesting, right? Because we've done all this. We're in Virginia, but me and her are fighting a lot. So my mom gets kind of irritated with the fact that we're not on the same accord. And she keeps making it known that she's irritated with the fact that we're not on the same accord. So one day, I just stop life, grab her, take her to the garage. We go into the garage and we just have a big sit down. We talk for like an hour about everything was bothering us, just everything. She has this breakdown cry moment. Everything seems good. Oops. We end up sleeping with each other in that moment and everything seems fine. Now, what I didn't know is during the course of the trouble, she picked up a girlfriend. A girlfriend that I did not know about. So, even after we made up, one day, my phone had turned off because the bill was due like 2 days before I got paid. So I had no choice but for my phone to go off. So in order to, handle any business, I had to use her phone. Now, I don't know if you guys remember the Boost mobile phones, but we both had the Boost mobile phone. It wasn't touchscreen, but it had the keyboard at the bottom. I don't know if y'all remember that. Like, you could boost through it and all that kind of stuff like that. And one day, I don't have her phone, but if I need to make a call or if I need to check my schedule for work or anything, I would use her phone. So I go to use her phone to check my schedule, and I see the message. I see a message from her and the girl. So as I read the message, I can see the girl is saying, "Oh, I can't wait to eat you out again, blah, blah, blah." So, curious mind, I scroll a little bit further. Like, well, what else have you guys been doing? And the girl had been sending her naked pictures, which the girl she was dating wasn't that bad, by the way. I just tell you, I would have joined in on that. And, it was a whole thing about how she should have never been with me and blah, blah, blah. But now this is after we made up. Most of these messages that she's talking the crap about me is after we made up. So in my head, what I'm putting together is she was just making this so that the girl would feel sorry for her and, keep talking to her. So boom, that whole thing hits. We get into a big blowout argument. Of course, me being young and dumb, I forgive the situation. But the argument and the fight that we had was so bad, not physical, but just yelling, screaming match or whatever. My mom was like, "You gotta go. We can't, this is not how we gonna live." So me thinking that we made up, I go, "Well, if you're kicking her out, I'm going too." Oh boy. Don't know why I did that dumb shit. So boom. I come back to Jersey with her. We take one of them Chinese buses, the ones that drop you off in New York. Her mom scoops us up from New York. I think it was her mom. Probably was her mom. Scoops us up from New York. Boom. So now at this point, I'm renting out a little spot in Bloomfield. She's living with her mother. And we met up. We spoke. And she just decided, yeah, I don't want to do this no more. Come to find out, she was trying to push to come back to Jersey because there was a dude that she wanted to date back here. And she had already checked out on me at that point. And even when we made up the first time, she was just doing that just, I guess, to keep the peace, I'm going to assume. We have spoken since then, and we have had conversations, but I mean, at the end of the day, it was just one of those things where it was just like, you could have just said that from the jump, and we could have resolved all this, and I probably would have had a whole different route, because I probably would have stayed in Virginia because I had a job and everything out there for a little bit longer. Got me another car, got a few things together, and then came back to Jersey with a little bit more, prep time. But yeah, man. And then here's the crazy thing. As time progressed, she ends up becoming the type of female that can't be alone. So what ended up happening is she ended up dating a magnitude of people. Not saying that she's a hoe or nothing like that, so don't take that out of what I'm saying. Like, if a relationship went wrong, she didn't take a breather in between type thing. So now she has a few kids. I'm not going to say how many, but she has a few. And it just seems like every time you turn around, she's in a relationship or getting married or getting divorced. And the crazy thing about that is and the point that I'm getting to is she reminds me of a family member that I grew up with. And the reason why I say that and I point that out is because what most people don't realize is when you have a type or you keep going through the same thing, 9 times out of 10, if you trace it back, you can find a point in your life where that was a thing. So like somebody like her, I was related and grew up and was close to somebody who did the same type of things she does. And I subconsciously was attracted to it, thinking that that was normal. So at the end of the day, if you keep going through these weird situations and you keep bumping into these weird scenarios and you keep trying to figure out, well, why do I keep attracting these type of people? Why do I keep ending up with these kind of situations on my plate? Ask yourself or look back into your life and see if there's somebody that you were close to that normalized that for you. Because that's usually why we go through what we go through. But that's another story with the fallen. I have 2 stories that I'm supposed to be doing with my cousin Travis that are hilarious. We have this one day that when we tell you the story, blow your mind. But for now, this is the end. Thank you for listening. I have some car videos coming soon, and I have a little clip from a car meet that didn't really go well and some pictures that didn't really get used. I'm gonna post them on my Instagram. So you guys have a good day. Catch you in the next one. Peace.